One and all, welcome to Friday Waffle. This is being recorded early on Friday morning. This is my last day, holiday that I had to take. I had some days to take before the end of March, so this is my very last day. So I thought I would get in nice and early, get the waffle done and dusted, and get it put out. So yeah, I hope you're all okay. Before I forget, happy birthday to Chris. Chris is one of my viewers, and I noticed on Facebook it's his birthday today, so I don't know what age you are, Chris. Can't he be as old as me? Nobody is as old as me, not in YouTube land, so I'm told. So yeah, what have I been doing since the last Friday Waffle? Obviously the last waffle I did, what did I do? I did it in the car. I was taking my daughter through to Edinburgh last week. I had the computer club on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday I think it was. It was a bit of a for myself. I took along. Now I'm going to be doing a special video. I took along a system, and which had been repaired by one of my really good friends, and I was using it last week, and it played absolutely 100%, no problems whatsoever. Played everything that I flung at it, you know, really good. Took it along to the computer club on Tuesday to use, and nothing would work in it. It wouldn't load any discs. I could not believe it. I'm like, how can this happen? Unplugged it, plugged it in, put different discs in, just wouldn't play anything. So I thought to myself, well, you know, I'll need to speak nicely to my friend and see if he can do anything for me. But got home, plugged it back in, and it works. Go figure. So it was working perfectly in the house. Took it away to use it, didn't work. Brought it back home, works. What my mate thinks is he says it could be a dirty power supply. Now it doesn't mean it's got dirt in it. That's what I thought it was. Apparently it means that if the power, I don't know, I'm not technical, could basically mean that the power that it should be given or outputting isn't what it should be. So it could have been that there wasn't enough, you know, voltage, whatever it is, going into the machine. So although it looked like it was switching on and it was coming up the screen, there maybe wasn't enough voltage to actually power the CD drive. I don't know, I'm not technical at all, but all I do know is it's working perfectly again. So I'm not going to go taking it to the computer club again. But could you believe it? I mean, I was really super looking forward to getting stuck into it, letting people play the games, and it just didn't work. So, you know what, it kind of just reaffirms what I've always said about, oh, Archie, stop it! Archie's just come in there and moved the camera. It reaffirms what I've always said about real hardware. Real hardware is fantastic. There's no two ways about it. Really good. But the biggest problem with real hardware, my beard's quite itchy. I don't know what it is. It's been really itchy the last couple of days. Yeah, the problem with real hardware is it is old. It's, you know, it wasn't designed to be played 30 years after it came out, you know. So the fact that even any of these systems are still running is still quite remarkable, you know, and it's a bonus that it still runs. But the problem with old systems is when it doesn't work and you try and fix it, it can start to get quite pricey. You know, and you've got to get to a point where you think, well, you know, how much to actually use the thing? Is it worthwhile paying all this extra money to get parts, whatever? You've got to draw a line under the sand and say, well, no, enough's enough. And I think I was going that way with this system, because I mean my mate very generously repaired it for me for completely nothing. I mean, I don't know how many hours it must have taken him to do it, but I'd got a new laser and must to get caps and that for it. So I think it was going to cost, all in, it cost me about 70 quid to get it fixed. You know, which is quite a big chunk of money when it might have not lasted. But yeah, so I don't know. I'll just wait and see. I mean, I've got loads of old systems, and I think it'll get to the point where when the next one breaks, I've got to look at it and think, well, how often do I play it? I mean, if it was my Commodore 64, my Commodore Amiga, any of the systems that I use on a regular basis, it's a no-brainer. I would absolutely go out and get it fixed, buy a new one, whatever. But when you've got systems that you maybe don't use all that often, then you've got to apply a bit of common sense and logic and think, well, should I keep throwing money at it? I don't know. So, anyway, we'll see. Right, before I don't have any. I've only got a couple of questions actually. Excuse me. I know Mr. Down the Rabbit Hole, he's on holiday at the moment, so I didn't get any from him, but it was slim pickings this week, guys, so it's probably going to be a shorter than normal waffle. I was getting dog's abuse for putting out only a half-hour waffle last week. But as I've told you, I'm too busy to be talking to you guys. I've got far more important people, celebrities and that, to hobnob now that I've got a monetised channel. Yeah, here we are. I applied for the monetised thing on, was it the 17th of February? And it's now I don't know what date it is. We're in the middle of March. And it's still not monetised. I have not made one pence yet. They're still reviewing the channel. Apparently, they've got a big backlog. I can only guess that it's down to the, changing the rules of what channels can monetise, that they're possibly having to go through an awful lot. But yeah, that's almost a month that I applied for it, and still waiting. I don't know if once it hopefully gets approved, whether they backdate the views to like the 17th of February. Does anybody know that? Do they backdate it to when you first applied, or I'm probably guessing that won't happen. I reckon it'll probably be it'll probably just start from the day it actually goes live. Don't know, but yeah, as of today, it's still not monetised yet. So when they get around to doing that is anybody's guess. News wise, I was saddened to hear the passing of a few people that had played quite a big part in my, well, not played a big part in my life, but they were part of my childhood growing up. Ken Dodd. Now, I wasn't a big fan of Ken Dodd, the comedian. If you're watching this from outside the UK, Ken Dodd was a comedian. He was the old school entertainer. I mean, I think he was about 80, so he had a good old age. But he passed away last week, or this week I should say. And Jim Bowen, who is he was a comedian, but he was best known for being the host of a quiz program called Bullseye. Now, Bullseye was a quiz program that went out. I'll put a wee link up above. Not a link. I'll let you see a bit of it up there. Yeah, it was a quiz program based around darts. Contestants would have to compete against each other. There was like 3 couples and they had to compete in high scores, and there was questions and that kind of stuff. But Bullseye will forever be remembered because the star prize was usually a caravan, or one of the most common was a speedboat. Now, you need to understand that the people that were playing in this quiz program were working class people that may have not owned a car. They possibly lived in a high-rise flat, and they were winning a speedboat. Where on earth they could put a speedboat, I have no idea. But what made it even funnier was to win the star prize, the couple that got through the other rounds, they would have to score 101 points with 6 darts. And you had like the non-darts player, that was the person that answered the questions, so they would go first. And then you had the darts player they would take their shots. You had to try and score 101 points with 6 darts, which, I mean, I used to be quite a good darts player. It's not that easy. 101 with 6 darts isn't that easy, it's very, very easy to get a low score. But what was really funny about it, funny for people watching, was if they didn't win, regardless of whether they won or not, Jim Bone would say, "This is what you could have won," and they would open the curtains, and these guys would push out the car or the speedboat or let you see the holiday that you could have won. So, as if it wasn't sore enough the fact that they hadn't won, they would then proceed to rub their faces in it and say, "This is what you could have won." You know, I think they'd even let them get into the car. Right, go on, get it out. It's no yours. You didn't win it. But
oh, but that's the gamble.
You were right to do it. You were right to go for it, boys. Come and have a look at what you would have won. I think you'll be. Never mind. There it is. Come and have a look. Don't worry about it. Come on in this side, Tim. You're all right. You're still all right. Don't be too depressed about it.
I loved it. I mean, I loved watching darts back in the 80s. Jockey Wilson, Eric Bristow. It was magical. I mean, I had a dartboard in my bedroom and I used to play. I was equally as addicted to playing darts as I was to playing video games. In fact, probably video games kind of stopped me playing darts. I was playing darts non-stop, then I got a computer and then that kind of stopped. But I loved watching darts on TV. I loved watching Bullseye. So when I heard that Jim Bone had passed away, it's just another wee bit of our childhood chipped away, you know. And sadly, the older we get, that's going to become more commonplace, and you know, we're going to start losing friends, and you know, that's life, unfortunately. The other person that I was saddened to see or to hear about was Professor Stephen Hawking. I actually I'd been meaning to watch the film The Theory of Everything for quite a while, and I just never got round to watching it. But when I heard of his passing, was it Tuesday, Wednesday? It was this week anyway. Excuse me, I decided to watch it, and I've got to say, it's quite a hard film to watch. I mean, I don't mind admitting this, I was close to tears actually a few times, because it's quite a sad film. You know, here's this guy, he's a genius, you know, he really is such a clever guy, and you know, he fell in love, he met a girl, and shortly after it, he realised that he was told he had motor neuron disease, and that he would only have 2 years to live. And he told his girlfriend that he didn't want to see her anymore because he knew that he wasn't going to be around for long. But she insisted that she wanted to be with him, you know, throughout this, to help him kind of try and fight. And lo and behold, I mean, instead of dying within 2 years, he went on to live till about, was he 79, I think it was. And one thing that really comes across in the film, and I never really realised that about him, it's easy to make judgments about somebody, to look at somebody in a wheelchair, you know, especially somebody who was as severely disabled as he was. He couldn't talk, obviously he was bent double as well, a right kind of sorry looking soul. He had an absolutely wicked sense of humour. I mean, when he first got his motorised wheelchair, and what do you call it, the voice thing, basically he could type on the screen and then it would speak. He was chasing these kids around the house pretending he was a Dalek, you know, exterminating, that kind of thing. So he had a really good sense of humour. And but ultimately, what was quite sad, but I don't blame her, was after, I mean, I don't know how many years, maybe 20 odd years, there was a tremendous strain on his wife, because his wife was having to basically look after him, and was it 3 kids I think they had, and that was a difficult time for his wife. And there was a guy that they used to know that would help around the house, and eventually his wife and this guy kind of got together. But at that point, I think Stephen had, I think they'd kind of almost grown apart, you know. But yeah, it was a very poignant film. As I say, it's quite hard to watch. If you've not seen it and you want to know more about Stephen Hawking, I suggest you watch it. Like I said, it is hard to watch, but you realise what a remarkable man he was. And to get to 79 years old and leave the legacy that he has left, I think, you know, it's a life to be celebrated rather than you know, win his sadness. But Anyway, I'm getting a bit bloody morbid this morning, actually. Hang on a second. So yeah, like I said, I've only got 2 sets of questions, and so yeah, I was going to say, yeah, Computer Club, talking about that. I was delighted to see Jeff Minter put out a little sneaky video of he's currently porting Grid Runner that was released on the iPhone and Android. He's currently making a port on the PS4, and he put out a video of it, and wow. I mean, it's a in progress beta, obviously, but Grid Runner on the smartphone is probably one of the finest zone-like shooters you could ever get. It's so playable. I mean, the touchscreen just lends itself perfectly to the actual game, but the way Jeff's done it, it looks like an old arcade, a classic 1980s arcade game. It looks amazing. Yeah, the graphics aren't much different from the sort of the iPhone version, but it's a game that I will absolutely get on day one. It's one of my favourite games, and you know, I think it's going to be VR compatible as well. But it just looks amazing. I really hope that this actually does get a release, because it just looks incredible. So I'm really excited about seeing that. I'm still trying to get a hold of Jeff to tie him down for a Blimey It's Only, because he did. I took the opportunity of commenting on a tweet I'd been mentioned in when we found out the what do you call it, the bug in Attack of the Mutant Camels. I put a little video out, and Jeff had commented on it, or not in the video, had commented on one of the tweets that one of my subscribers had put out, and I said to Jeff, I'll need to get you on for a chat sometime, and he's like, yeah, that could happen. So I need to stay on his case. I need to get Jeff on this, because I think he would be a really, really good person to have. I know he's always stupidly enthusiastic about video games, and I've watched a lot of talks and lectures and that he's done, and he's excellent at this kind of thing. So I'll just need to stay on it. So yeah, now what I've done is, because I've got so few questions this week, I realised that I've got a rather large back catalogue of videos. I mean, I've been making the Friday Waffle now for, this is its 4th year, which is just mental. 4 years of waffles. So that's a lot of talking, and so what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to start revisiting some of the older waffles, and basically seeing what I was talking about back then, and do another one, because you know, all the stuff that I talk about generally is based on old things, old systems. So the way I see it is, it's just as relevant today as it was 4 years ago. So the one that I saw, that I think I originally put out in June 2014, was what impact has being a video gamer had on my life. What impact has it had? Well, it's when I actually stop and think, it's been absolutely huge, the impact it's had on my life. I mean, I'm not going to go into the history of me, you know, what systems I owned. I've done that quite a few times. But when I first got my C64 back in 1983, I was working in a large department store collecting shopping trolleys, and one of the guys that worked there, we got friendly, and he was studying computers at, I think it was it Reading College, I think it was, and I mentioned that I had a Commodore 64, so we got pally, and he had a girlfriend, and then after about a year they split up, and I had a bit of a crush on his girlfriend at that point, and I asked her out, and yeah, we ended up getting together. We ended up getting married, actually. So you know, my first was through computers. But from a friendship point of view, at school, I got Pally with me. You know, one of my best mates. We got together because he had a Spectrum, I had a Commodore 64, and we're still pals today. He's got no interest in computers, you know, old systems. He's more into his horror films and that kind of stuff. But I'm still best mates with him. So that's a friendship that's lasted what, 25 years, you know, which is 25 years, trying 35 years actually. Yeah, you'd be about 15 years old. So about 35 years I've known this guy, and we got together through computer games. My other sort of best mate, I met him in a job back in 1985, and again we got friendly talking about computer games. He had an Auric, one that was an Electron that you had to begin with. I had a C64 and we got pals, and we're still pals to this day. You know, I see him probably once a week. But then other ways, I mean, I've been, since getting the internet back in 1997, obviously I've been online all that time, and I stumbled across it was a forum, a gaming forum called Yak Yak. I was googling Commodore 64, Jeff Minter, and here I stumbled across this forum that was kind of tied in with Jeff Minter and Lamasoft. So I enrolled in that. That's how the MainMeister name came to be, because you had to put a name in. And at that point, I just discovered MAME, and my mate Grant, who was a massive Doom fan, when you kill somebody, pardon me very much, when you kill somebody in Doom, it's called a frag, don't ask, and he was particularly good at Doom, so he used to call himself the Fragmeister. So when I was trying to come up with a username like MAME, yeah, great, I think I put in Alan Stewart, and it's like, you can't have that, you know, somebody else has got it. So I put in MAME, and I thought MAME Meister, that'll do, MAME Meister, and it stuck. And here we are, what would it be, 30 years on, not quite 30, 25 years on, I'm still using, that name has just stuck with me. But yeah, getting back to Yak Yak, I got to know a lot of people in the forum, and then about maybe 8 years later, we moved across and started up another forum called Way of the Rodent, which was a sort of gaming magazine, online gaming magazine. And yeah, all these guys I still talk to pretty much on a daily basis. I've been to some of their weddings. Some of these guys have been to my wedding. They've witnessed, not through a video or that, but the birth of my daughter. You know, when my wife was in labour, you know, somebody was keeping everybody up to date. Oh, MainMeister's wife's just going into labour, nah. So, you know, it's a bit like the Truman Show, living your life online. But I'm still, I've got a lot of friends that I met through Yak Yak. I've known them for 25 years. I see them in real life. They're part of my life. They always will be. Then I've got the computer club, which was a thing. It was my mate George started it about 6 years ago, and yeah, it's there's a group of maybe about 10 of us. We're all good friends. We see each other once a month, and we talk daily. And then obviously YouTube. I mean, YouTube it wasn't even something that I was aware of being something other than it was a website you went to watch. If you wanted to watch a video, a music video, you would go to YouTube and you would watch the music video. I never really thought of it as a place where you would actually become friends with people. It was just too out there. It was too kind of open for people. Sorry, just the camera can only record up to a certain file size, and then it it goes onto a new file, and you always get that sort of like it loses 3 or 4 seconds of video. So I just paused it there for a second or started a new file. Yeah, I wasn't YouTube, like I says, to me it was just a website where you could watch music videos, and I never would have ever thought that it could be a place where you would actually get to know people, you know, get to interact with people. And that changed when I started my YouTube channel. I mean, as I've said before, for me, my YouTube channel was, I was going through a phase. I'd kind of lost my mojo for playing video games. There was just nothing I wanted to do. And I thought to myself, why don't I record myself playing a crap game? I'll call it the Meme Meister 10-minute mashup. And yeah, I started recording these. I was doing one a day, which now is ridiculous. I would never do a video every day. But I started that. I don't know when it was it 2013, 2014? I think it might have been, I'm not 100% sure, I think it might have been the tail end of 2013. Maybe Brian C, he was one of my first subscribers. He might be able to tell me when it was. Excuse me. But I started the channel, and it was just a means for me to play games for a laugh and record it and maybe give some other people a laugh. But then very quickly I realised that I was on a hiding to nothing. You know, I was making videos that nobody was watching. I was getting like 2 or 3 views, and I thought to myself, I'm just wasting my time here. Really am. It's pointless. Why am I going through the motions of recording myself talking or playing games when nobody's watching, you know? So I was going to knock it in the head, and thankfully Brian and a few others says, look, we enjoy what you do. You know, I think I had 4 subscribers or something, and that was encouragement enough to keep it going. And here we are, 4 years on. I'm now, what am I? I think I'm at 1,923 subscribers, which is just insane. I mean, the sub count has been going up quite quickly this year. Don't know what it is. Hopefully it's because the quality of videos I'm putting out are better. I hope you do, well, I'm sure you do actually notice that the more I mess about with the software that I use a piece of software called Camtasia 8. I was very happy to get, one of my mates gave me not a copy, it's a legitimate copy with a proper user number and that. It's not the most powerful bit of software, but I'm gradually thinking, what does this do? So you've probably noticed I've now, I've got like, instead of things just appearing on screen, they're popping up and that kind of stuff. It makes videos look a wee bit better, but I'm always a great believer in thinking that videos, it's not about how they look, it's all about the content. And you know, my videos compared to a lot of people's look shit. There's no question of it, they do look shit. But hopefully it's the content is what people enjoy. You know, I don't think, I mean, we've all watched channels that look amazing, big flash intros, and then after a couple of minutes you're like, this is actually pretty boring, you know. But yeah, where am I going with this? So here I am, yeah, 4 years later, still doing it, and I would like to think that, yeah, I've got a core bunch of people that watch the channel, and we have good banter in the comments. Excuse me. I've even met a couple of the guys through YouTube down the rabbit hole. Kevin, he's a fellow YouTuber. I met Kevin. He was across from Canada last year, and I tied up with him. Went into Glasgow, had a meal, went out for a few drinks. I got stupidly drunk as well, if I remember rightly. Brian C, the guy I was mentioning earlier on, Brian's one of my first subscribers. I've met Brian when I met him in Edinburgh, went out for a few drinks, and there's another couple of guys. I mean, Neil Morris is he's fairly new to the channel, but he's very interactive with the channel, which is great. He comes from Canada, and he's actually coming across here to to the UK in the beginning of June, I think it is. So with any luck, we're going to be able to tie up. But then I've also been at, you know, some gaming events, retro gaming events, and I've met a few guys. You know, people have come up and said hello to me. They watched my channel, and that for somebody like myself is, I wouldn't say it's not life changing, but it blows my mind. You know, the fact that somebody knows me through watching videos is just, I'm just Mr. Joe Average. You know what I mean? I've got a job, I've got kids, I've got a family, I've got a wife, I've got 2 dogs, I've got a job, you know. And when somebody recognises you through like a channel, it's quite mental. I know my mate Scott, he down at Blackpool, this young lady came up and asked him for his autograph, which just blew his mind. He thought, why do you want my autograph? I'm just Scott, you know. And I tried to explain to Scott, I says, you know, if people watch you on a channel, it's no different from watching Doctor Who on the TV. You become familiar with the person that you're watching. So when somebody sees you in real life, it can be a bit of a wow. I mean, I remember meeting Monkey Spaz down in Blackpool. I was at Manchester about 4 years ago, and it was bizarre because I was watching Monkey Spaz's videos. I was watching his channel all the time, and then I saw him and I'm like, wow. And I went up. I think I freaked him out. I went up and said hello to him, and you know, but you can get a wee bit starstruck seeing somebody who you watch, you know, on a channel in real life. But yeah, so you know, the whole YouTube thing has just been a revelation, and then I can't obviously not mention fellow YouTubers. I mean, I'm part of the Retro and Limb community, which is a great website set up by a guy called Stephen Richards. It's basically a collection of videos, content makers, not just about video games. I mean, Stephen likes to refer to it as like the best of. I wouldn't say I'm one of the best channels out there, but it's channels that he thinks are worthy of people want to see. If you want to watch channels about old video games, whatever it is, toys, go to Retro and Limb, you know, and there's different channels. So through the Retro and Limb, there's fellow YouTubers, far too many to mention. I mean, we've got Nova Bug, we've got Lactobacillus Prime, we've got the Highlander, we've got in a Retro Tip. There's loads of guys, there's loads of them. I'm not going to try and mention them all. There's Scott Games Asylum. See, I said I'm not going to mention them, and I go and mention them. But yeah, and I've met these guys. I'm fortunate enough to have met these guys quite a few times, and I consider these guys as friends. Yeah, some people would say to you, well, how can you have a friend when you only see him once a year? But is that any different from real life? I've got 2 sisters who I probably see more YouTubers in real life than I do my sisters, and you can see that's sad. That's the way that's become. I mean, with sort of social media nowadays, a lot of the interaction tends to be just online. You don't actually see people in real life. So yeah, the fellow YouTubers, they're friends of mine, you know, meeting people at shows and that kind of stuff. Yeah, where am I going with this? But it just, video games, I've put a lot of, you know, I try and give a lot back to the hobby. I mean, I've had so much pleasure, happiness from video games over the last 35 years. You know, it's part of me, whether people like it or not. I mean, my ex, she was not happy with the time that I used to spend playing video games, and I realised that was probably part of the reason we split up, you know. But I'm really happy now. I've been married now for what, 11 years, I think it is. You know, but my wife completely understands that video games is part and parcel of what I am. You know, she understands that. I've got my little games room. Yeah, it's not the biggest room in the world, but it's my little space. It's my little space. I can come in, I can close the door, I can just completely chill out, I can play games, I can make videos, I can do whatever I want. But yeah, like I says, I have had so much pleasure and happiness from video games over the last 25, 35 years. And I suppose I'd like to think that in some small way, me having a YouTube channel is kind of my way of giving back. Does that make sense? I don't do it to give back. I do it because I enjoy it. I really, really enjoy talking about video games. I mean, you couldn't possibly have a YouTube channel for 3-4 years and have recorded waffles that would probably last you for about 3 months of continuous viewing if you weren't into the hobby. But I enjoy it. I really, really do enjoy it. And I would like to think that when, let's be honest, there's going to become a day where I'm going to kick the bucket and this channel will not exist. I mean, with any luck, it will still remain on the interweb at some point. But I'd like to think that maybe somewhere down the line, somebody will archive videos like my own channel and other channels, because then in 100 years' time, when people, are looking back, how did they do things back in the 2010? They can. This is what it's called. This thing was called YouTube, and this is the guy here that had a YouTube channel called Meme Meister. He's been dead for 50 years, whatever, but I mean, I think the great thing about YouTube is we are kind of writing history. We are recording the history of this hobby. I mean, a lot of the comments that I get from people, and it always really, really puts a smile on my face, is they'll say that the appeal of my channel isn't the production values. They say it's more the sincerity of me talking, which I take as a compliment. I mean, I'm sitting here talking to a camera, but people say it's like listening to your mate in the pub talking. And that's what I am. It's not something that I put on. It's just the way I am. And there's lots of other people that do equally, are equally as, I don't want to say good, that sounds arrogant, that are able to talk like they're talking to their mate. And I think that's the appeal of my channel. And so, yeah, by making these videos, I am helping to document this hobby. Because, although we can play the games, kids, in 20 years' time, kids will still be able to load up Manic Miner. They'll still be able to play the Vectrex on an emulator. But what will be lost is the history behind it, how this came to be, what was it like for people back in the early 80s, who got their first system was an Atari 2600. Yeah. Anyway, listen, I'm kind of waffling big style here. I could probably edit all that bit out, but I'll just leave it in. I'm going to leave it in. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with the questions. Like I said, I don't have too many, so excuse me a second. But yeah, just to summarise, video games has influenced my life absolutely massively. It's been with me for 20, 35 years, and I don't ever see it stopping. I mean, as long as I can still see, I can still hear, I will still play video games. There's no question of that. So anyway, yeah, right, let's kick things off. Mr. Carol Todd, excuse me, on last week's Waffle, you mentioned that you were looking at new firmware for the GPD-XD. Was it the Legacy BIOS you were looking at? Is there a new release? It is, Carol, and yeah, I put it on. I don't know if it's a new release. It was basically, I just googled it. I don't know what it is. And what makes it really nice is, I think the GPD-XD, the default clock speed is 1.4, I think it is. With this firmware, what I've done is I've put on 1.8, but I've got this little app that basically disables it, because I don't want it running at 1.8 all the time, because it doesn't need it. I mean, it runs, the GPD on default clock speed plays things really well. Where it is nice to have a wee bit extra kind of oomph under the bonnet is maybe playing like the N64 or like the PSP. So I've got this little app that I can basically tweak it, I can change it, I can pick whether I want it to run at 1.4, 1.6 or 1.8. But yeah, it makes a big difference. It's nice, and it was stupidly easy. If you've got a GPD-XD, I would strongly advise you put on the legacy firmware. It's really, really easy. I just googled it. I mean, drop me if you want me to send you the link, let me know and I'll see if I can find it. But dead easy. So anyway, right, what is Carol saying here? Top Hat Gamer Man has recently posted about CEX using fake inlays with games and charging the same for those as the genuine second-hand copies. In some cases, he even found that they were photoshopping the wrong PEGI ratings onto their copied inlays. Have you ever experienced this? Any thoughts about it? I can't say I've ever noticed that, but if that's the case, that is pretty cheeky. It's, you know what? It's not even cheeky. It's actually quite deceitful, because I mean, personally, it doesn't bother me about, you know, I'm not one of these boxed in complete with instructions type of person. I'm more interested in just getting the game and playing it, so it wouldn't really bother me too much. But I completely understand that there are a lot of people who they want the genuine article, they want the box, they want the instructions, and if you're paying money for what you think is the real instructions and real cover, and you find out that it's been photoshopped or printed on a printer, then that is wrong. That is 100% wrong. Because, you know, you could quite easily do it yourself. You could buy yourself a disc only, print off. I mean, all these images are available online. You could print off a cover and do it yourself. So if that is the case, then shame on CEX, or Sex. I think it's pronounced Sex actually. That is completely wrong. But like I says, Carl, it's not something that's ever bothered me. I've never knowingly bought a game with a fake cover. I'd probably think that's a bit rubbish, but it wouldn't really bother me about it. But if that is the case, then that is completely wrong. Number 2, just before Christmas, I heard that Sega had accidentally posted the full image of the new arcade game Daytona 3 Championship USA in their support forum to fix bugs in the game. And since the game runs on PC-based hardware, a group of people spent time hacking it to make it playable in Windows. You've got to love hackers, you really do. At the time, this has made me realise how little interest I have in arcade games now, and I guess the same is true of many people who follow your channel. So I wonder, what is the last arcade game that you can remember looking forward to receiving a conversion for your computer's consoles? As I've mentioned before, Carol, where I stay in central Scotland, I never really lived near arcades back in the 80s. The only time I got to play an arcade would be if I went into Edinburgh, which for a kind of, when the arcades were massive, I was only, 13, 14, and it wasn't really practical for me to get a bus into Edinburgh, so I didn't really do it. The only other time I'd really get to play arcade games would be, you know, if we'd go down to Blackpool. Me and my mate used to, there used to be a sort of local community club thing, I don't know what it was exactly, and they used to organise this day trip to Blackpool. Brilliant. Really, really good. You would basically, you would get picked up, you had to meet at a collection point, and it was something like 5 o'clock in the morning, so you'd get your sorry arse out of bed, get to this thing, and then you would all get on the bus. I mean, there was all different people. It was a big stagecoach place, bus. You know, we were probably about the youngest there. Me and my mate would go down, and you know, there was all these old foggies going down to sit on the beach and play bingo and whatever. And you would get down there, and then basically say, right, meet back. excuse me, meet back at the bus at 6 o'clock at night. So then that was you. You were free to do your own thing, and the first thing me and my mate would do, we'd just go to the arcades and play games, and we would go to all the tat shops and pick up, you know, cheap arcade games, cheap video games. I remember I got, was it the Bo Jolly collection, and not Interceptor, Imagine Software games, with stuff like Arcadia and is it Pedro? Absolutely awful games. But we did that a couple of times, and I always remember one particular year we had to get back to the bus, And as usual, we were running late, me and my mate, and it was like 5 to 6, and we were running to the bus, and then lo and behold, I needed a shit, and I had to go because there wasn't a toilet in the bus, and it was like 2 minutes to 6, and basically the rule was if you weren't there, they would go without you. Now, you know, a 16-year-old being stranded in Blackpool with no money, it wasn't a good idea. So my mate decided to run to the bus, and he was going to tell him, look, you need to wait, my mate's away at the toilet. And I can still remember running about Blackpool, frantically looking for the toilet. There's nothing worse when you're needing the toilet and you can't find a toilet. There is nothing worse. And I still remember running about, and I think if I remember rightly, you had to pay for it as well. It was like, I never understand the paying for it, you know, paying to go to the toilet. But I eventually got in, managed to get in the toilet in time, I hasten to add. And then I had to leg it to the bus, and I remember getting there like 10 minutes late. And as I got in the bus, the bus driver's like, well, I hope you got there in time, Alan, and everybody started clapping as I got in the bus. But yeah, I digress. That was the only time I really got to play proper arcades. I mean, there was an occasional game that I'd get to play in like the rugby club. My dad was a member of the local rugby club, so they would have like an arcade game. Only ever really had one, so it was like Xavier's, Phoenix. I can't remember any other ones that they had. In the sports centre, it had like Track and Field, 1942, Space Invaders, a few others. But yeah, so my experience in my sort of like, what am I trying to say here? Exposure, that's what I'm trying to say. The exposure I had to arcade games was very, very, very limited. So probably the last, I mean, one arcade that I'm completely forgetting about was, there was a little arcade in Bathgate, which I used to go to. I used to go to the local West Lothian College of Further Education. I used to go there day release. I think it was on a Wednesday. And at lunchtime, me and my mate Kenny would go into this arcade. It was a little arcade, but it was quite good actually. They had quite a lot of good games. And that's where I got to see R-Type, and a game that I fell in love with, and I still love this day, was Rolling Thunder. I would probably say that Rolling Thunder was the last game that I can really remember looking forward to getting an arcade port. And sadly, the home ports were pretty awful. I did do Arcade Perfect My Arse on Rolling Thunder, and I remember at the time thinking that the home versions were completely pants, but when I revisited them fairly recently, I didn't think they were quite as bad as I remember them to be. But saying that, they're still pretty woeful conversions. You know, they're not good conversions at all. The biggest thing for me was they didn't have the music, and the music for me is a massive part of Rolling Thunder. So I think Rolling Thunder was probably the last arcade game that I really wanted to see get a conversion. And at that point, once I stopped going to college, I never really went back to arcades. Never, nah. I mean, I've been to Blackpool since, and the arcades are crap. It's all money grabbing machines, light gun games. You know, the Xbox 360 can do just as capable games as what the arcades can do. But an interesting story about Daytona 3, I'll need to actually have a look on YouTube and see if I can see any footage of the game running. But yeah, and finally, an off-topic question, so feel free to ignore it. Anyone, excuse me, anyone who's been watching for a while will know that you enjoy running. So if you could go anywhere for a run, along a beautiful beach, mountain pass, forest trail, where would you like to go running? Yeah, I've been running for about 8 years. My running the last year hasn't been great. I think kind of with the job and that as well. Hopefully once the job settles down, which it should do, I'm going to get back to regular running. I mean, I still do go out on a Sunday and I'll do 10 miles or whatever. I'm not a road runner. I detest running on the road. I mean, I've done quite a few marathons which are all on the road. Don't like marathon running at all. Running along a road is like the worst thing ever. You know, all you're doing is thinking about how far you've got to go, and so yeah, that's not for me. I absolutely love running off road. My favourite place to run has got to be the West Highland Way up in Scotland. It starts at a place called Mulgai, which is just slightly north of Glasgow, and it finishes in Fort William, and it's 95 miles through some of the most breathtaking scenery you could ever hope to see. It goes through. I mean, you go through, like, it's Balmaha. It runs along Loch Lomond to, like, through Rowerdene and Inversnaid, Beinglass. Then you go up through the forest, past Creanlarich up to Tyndrum. Then from there you run along to Bridge of Orchy, and then you go up onto the Rannoch Moor and run to Glencoe. And running along Rannoch Moor is just, it's breathtaking. You feel so small, you feel so insignificant, but the scenery is just mind blowing. I actually get quite emotional talking about it, because I don't know what it is. As I've gotten older, and I think certainly since I've started running, I just feel, I know it sounds like, it sounds a hippie thing to say, but I feel the older I'm getting, I'm becoming at one with nature. You know, just as much as I love tech, I love computer games, I love technology, I absolutely love, like, the great outdoors, being out there in the hills. Doesn't matter what the weather's like, you know, sometimes running in poor weather just adds to the experience. So yeah, my favourite place to run is in the hills, especially West Highland Way. It's just stunning. It's life changing for me. Some of my happiest memories of anything I've done in my life has been when I'm out running, you know, in the hills. It's just incredible. It really, really is. If you're a runner yourself, Carol, get out into the hills. I promise you, you will love it. It's just amazing. So anyway, listen, Carol, thank you very much for the questions. And lastly, it's birthday boy himself, Panther UK. Us old C64 boys love a good Sid. That sounds like something rude. Yeah, a Sid being a Sid tune. But what are your thoughts on the many remakes? I quite like a metal version myself. I know what you're talking about, Chris. I mean, the Sid chip is an amazing little bit of technology. It's still very much a thing. People are still knocking out wonderful tunes. I mean, some of the music that the Sid chip was able to make is mind-blowing. Some of Martin Galway's, some of Ben Dalglish, Rob Hubbard. Amazing, really amazing stuff. I can't say I'm really... I'm not a person that really listens to Sid tunes now. I don't really listen to remakes. I mean, I know there's you get a lot of these Kickstarter projects where these musicians, Martin Galway, is it Jerome Tell, they put out sort of like remixed versions of their music, and I completely respect what they do, but I don't really, it's not something that I'm really into. I think with me, I've noticed I've got an interest in a lot of things, but not in a really deep way, and I think it's because I've just simply got too much on my plate. You know, life seems to go by in a flash, and trying to find the time to do everything you want to do just isn't possible. But yeah, there's a lot of amazing remakes and like sort of remastered versions of classic Sid tunes. But like I said, it's not something that I really listen to very much. But there's a thing called, is it the High Voltage Sid Collection, which is, you can easily download, just Google it, you'll find it. And it's basically a collection of every single Sid tune ever released. And I mean, I think the last time I downloaded it, there was something like 36,000 Sid tunes. So go and, if you're into Sid music, have a look at it. You'll enjoy it. So, and listen, guys, thank you very much for the questions. A poor show, I've got to say though. You need, if you want this waffle to continue, you need to get questions in, guys, because it does make it can get to a point where I think, well, I've got nothing to talk about, and if I don't have any topic to talk about, there won't be a waffle. And I know a few of you do like the waffle, so please, please, please get the questions in. I can't overstate that. I need your questions. It's not even just questions. It's even just, you know, as I've said before, a topic. You know, doesn't have to be a question. What are your thoughts on blah, whatever? Let me know and I'll see what I can do. So listen, before I go, I want to do a quick shout out. I don't do many of these, and the thing is, I don't watch many channels. I love YouTube to bits, and I love watching channels about similar things to what I talk about. But I just, again, it goes back to the old time thing, trying to find the time to do it. It's not always easy. But there's a guy, and he's a friend of mine. I've been lucky enough to meet him. I met him in Blackpool. I've met him a couple of times, and I met him more recently in this year in Blackpool. Was it last month? I think it was. And his channel is called The Highlander. I've always been interested to know why he's called The Highlander. He's not Scottish, he's Dutch, and his name is Wouter. Is that how you pronounce it? I hope it is. Wouter's got a really, really nice channel. He's been going probably about the same time as myself. He doesn't really do many gameplay videos, but he does a lot of kind of like talking videos about various different things. And he's one of these guys, he generally, if he's got something to say, he'll talk about it. And generally, whatever he says about something is worth listening to. Does that make any sense? What I'm trying to say is, he doesn't put out a lot of videos, but generally, whenever he's got anything to say, it's always worth watching his videos. He did do a real interesting video a couple of days ago on handhelds, LED handhelds, something that I used to have a big collection of. Yeah, really interesting. But yeah, he's not afraid to put things out there. You know, he'll talk about his thoughts on the retro community. He was talking about, he put a video out recently about monetization of YouTube and that kind of stuff. But he, now I can't think who, anytime I watch his channel, he kind of reminds me of some, I don't know if it's Robert De Niro. I don't know, he looks like he should be in films, if that makes any sense. You look like somebody famous. I can't think exactly who it might be. Maybe it's a collection of people I don't know about her. But yeah, he's very, very articulate. He's a clever person. He's very articulate, interesting. So if you've got any interest at all in old computer games, and if you're watching my video, then chances are you have, go and check the Highlanders channel out. I'll put a big link down below. Check it out. Please hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. Like I said, he doesn't put a lot of videos, which is sometimes always isn't a bad thing, because there's nothing worse than people putting out videos every day. But his videos are excellent. He's got a right mishmash of different things, you know. But it's one of the channels that I enjoy watching it, and I think if you like my channel, you'll probably enjoy Wouter's as well. So go and please check him out. So yeah, listen, that is it. I'm going to wrap this waffle up. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching it, guys. I will be doing live streams coming up. I have been going a bit daft with the live streams, but since I've managed to figure out how to use the software, it's actually quite easy and it's enormous fun. So I'm planning to do another live gaming stream maybe in the next couple of weeks. Just need to try and tie up something when my wife's out and I can get peace and quiet to use the downstairs PC. So anyway, guys, just remains for me to say have an excellent weekend, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Right, okay, I am at the park thing. It's a kind of a community park where people play football, dogs get walked, and children kick footballs and what have you. So let's flip this camera around and see the dogs. Right, let's unleash the beasts, as they say. Right, stay. Stay. Right, stay. That's Jax, and that's Archie. He's the troublemaker. Right, wait a minute, we'll get your ball. Wait a minute. Right, Jax, you get your ball. Right, okay, I'm carrying it then, I guess. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And instantly they do a pish, because that's what dogs do. Actually, I'm convinced dogs don't go for walks, they just go to smell things. Right, come on, Archie, move. What is it with dogs and bloody lampposts? Jax! He loves playing with his ball, absolutely loves it. Right, come on Archie, let's get going. This single lead ensemble thing was my idea. Basically, because Jax always runs ahead, he goes in the longer bit. And Archie, because he's older, and he basically just wanders about and does really... I don't actually know what he does. Archie, what do you actually do? What do you bring to the table other than doing the toilet? Not very much. Ugh, it's really muddy. Right, Jax, come on, you can get your lead off, son. In fact, I can let Archie off his lead as well. He's got a bad habit of going up towards the road. Right, Jax, come on. Right, we'll get your lead off. Right, wait a minute. Right, here. He will run all day chasing the ball. Right, Archie, here, come on. Right, you can get your lead off as well. Now, there's one thing that's more guaranteed than Jordan getting a divorce, is when dogs see mud or puddles, they go straight to it. Oh, he's doing a shite. Right, here's a first on YouTube. Me picking up a dog shite. What are you doing? The hell are you doing? There we go, one dog shite. Archie, over here. One my pet hates, it's not a pet hate, it's something that I absolutely detest, are people who have dogs and they don't pick up their dog shite. Absolutely disgusting. It's fine back in the 80s, because as an 80s kid you walked in dog shit, but nowadays, Jesus, wanting his ball. Wait a minute, Jax, I need to pick up this thing. Trying to get one of the bags. A minute, I'll use my mouth, hang on. He is one little patient dog. Right, come on. Right, Archie, over here. Right, where are we? I don't mean where are we, I mean where are we as regards picking up dog shit. Right, there's one. Lovely. Two. And we shall now tie said. I'm going to put the phone down for a second. And get the knot tied in this thing. I'm still here, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry, Mr. Mannering. Right, and we have one jobby bag for the bin. Right, come on. Right, Archie, get out. Oh, Archie, get out the bloody mud. What are you doing? What are you doing that for? Archie, what are you going in the puddle for? There is absolutely no need for that. Right, come on, let's go down here a bit. Let's go down here a wee bit. But yeah, he will run about all day with that ball, whereas Archie is just a pain in the arse. Like I says, Archie has got absolutely no use whatsoever. I don't even know why we got him. I'm just waiting for the vet to do a 2-for-1 and get the bloody get the pair of them put down. I'm only kidding, Jacks. I'm not kidding about Archie, he's a pain. Archie, over here! Hi! That's all he does is pish. What is that all about? Oh, that's a good one. Oh, another dog alert. Hopefully he'll stay away. Although both my dogs are male and neutered, Jax has a thing for mounting other dogs, even if it's a boy. I don't know what's going on there. It's actually, it's, you know what, it's kind of spring-like. I don't want to speak too soon because apparently somebody actually told me that, what do you call it? See, there's that white dog walking about and it's all muddy. He's a bloody arse. Archie! Archie! Hi! Yeah, somebody told me apparently the beast from the east is due again, so there's another couple of dogs over there. But yeah, this little dog here, this little dog called Jax, he's a wee cutie. He will run about all day chasing the ball, whereas Archie just goes into mud. And like I says, I don't actually know what he does. He's a pain in the arse. He loves chasing the ball. That was shite. It's over there, go and get it. Oh, there he is, he's back. Look at him. Archie's about, I don't know, 10 years old. Jax is about, oh, he's actually running now. You're deciding to run. Yeah, Archie's about 10. Jax, this little dog here, he's about, I don't know, what age are you, Jax? About 6, something like that. But like I says, he'll run and run and run and run forever. Aye, so it's, I'm actually recording this on Wednesday night, though you're not seeing this till Friday. It's quite cool, but it's not cold. It's not cold, and what I really like about it is it's, I mean, what time is it? It must be about 6 o'clock, and it's not dark. We're definitely getting lighter now, which is just wonderful, because it means that you can get out and about. I love being out though. I love being outside. I think that's something that, as you get older, you start to appreciate the great outdoors. Whereas when you're younger, you know, the thought of going to a park as a kid was like boring. Alright. Whereas now, I love it. I mean, I absolutely love being up northeast Scotland. Some amazing scenery. And I think that's where running really has shown me how beautiful Scotland is. I just love being out, great outdoors, up in the hills, in forests, out in snow, out in rain, whatever. It's just wonderful being out. You really appreciate it. But it's not something you do when you're a kid. What he is doing is completely pointless. Chasing the ball, he brings it back, I kick it, he brings it back, I kick it, he brings it back, I kick it. Dabba 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 da. Oh, now he's going for a bloody wander. But I like just being outside, even like looking at little different birds in the trees, things like that. My favourite bird of all time is oyster catchers. They're the little black birds with big long orange beards, orange beaks. They look like kind of cartoon birds, if you can imagine it. See, this is the problem with this. You've got all this mud like that, And these dogs think nothing better than just to run through the mud, because then they get flung in the bath. But it's a pain in the arse having to do it. And I think, whoa, almost fell there. That would have been quite a thing for YouTube. What are you putting your ball there for? Look at it. Look at it, Jax. Look at the state of that bloody ball. And I'm trying not to follow my arse and make a complete twat of myself. Yes, what's for my dinner tonight? I think I'm getting spaghetti bolognese actually. Well, I'm saying tonight, by the time you watch this, I've had my dinner. Have it! There's some wee birdies. Can you see them? Maybe not. Going about their business. We've bought every kind of dog ball possible, and this little dog will just ruin them. I mean, I've actually bought some of these indestructible balls, and he'll have it in bits within 5 minutes. Best thing to do is I went on eBay and I bought, was it 20 tennis balls for about £5. Brilliant, really, really good. That building there, it's like sort of changing facilities. They play like football. I think it's kind of school kids. You see them playing football. So yeah, this is only what, 2 minutes along from my house. It's nice. I'm actually quite fortunate where I stay. I mean, I'm literally about 15 minutes from the Pentland Hills, which is really nice. You know, lots of really nice woodlands, canals and whatnot. So yeah, people complain about, you know, nothing to do, but if you actually go outside, you can, there's lots of really nice places to go. So anyway, listen, I am going to hand you back to me indoors. Thank you very much for watching.